Hi, my name is Stephanie, and I'm going to be answering the questions from our textbook. So for the first section, it was section 2.8. It was about Valeant and their drug distribution. And so for the first question, it asked, what issues did Valeant miss in its decisions on accounting practices and pricing of its drugs? I think the first issue was that they went back, got older prescriptions, and upcharged them to people, which is not ethically right in my opinion. I think that if you're going to be selling prescription drugs, especially for a medical issue, I don't think that you should be upselling or cranking up the price on medication because you're just trying to make a profit. I don't think that's right. And for the second question, it asked, why is transparency an issue for publicly traded companies, and what credo ideas do you learn from this case? I think the transparency is that they aren't telling the truth. They hid a lot of aspects of how much money they were spending on it, how much money they were losing. They were trying to show that they were being a very successful company, but in reality, they weren't. A lot of people were thinking, they're just trying to make us believe and trying to make us think that they're telling the truth, but in reality, they weren't. Secondly, in the next unit chapter, it was about the NFL and the Deflategate. So the first question asked, what significance do you attach to Tom Brady's answer, I don't believe I cheated? And then the second question is, evaluate how the legal issues ended up versus the ethical issues that you see, and discuss the issue of proof. So the crazy thing about Tom Brady's answer of I don't believe I cheated was the fact that it was on Saturday Night Live and it wasn't a real interview, and that was really the only time where he spoke out about the issue. I don't think that was the right time or place to discuss this issue because it was a real legal issue that was going on between the Patriots and the NFL. And speaking about the legal issues, they were fined. They just paid off the fine, and I don't really think that they learned their lesson ethically. I think that, they're still going to try and bend the rules and maybe even break it without even people realizing it. So that's just kind of where I stand in that situation. And lastly, in the textbook was about this guy, Joe Hadeed, and his carpet cleaning company, and negative reviews that were put on Yelp about his business. So in the first question, it asked, what can you think of as a defense for someone who posts a review and whose identity is revealed to the business? And discuss the ethics of companies whose business it is to write negative reviews for competitors in order to increase business. So for the first question, I think on Yelp there should be like an open, free space to talk between a business and a client, because there might be an issue between a client and that business, and maybe the business doesn't remember, or they didn't think that there was an issue, but seeing and remembering that person's name or remembering that situation can have them open up and have them reach out to that person and resolve that issue, so that maybe that client can come back to the company, or maybe that company can realize what they did wrong so that they won't mess up for the future. And for the second question, discuss the ethics of companies whose business it is to... So if a company is going out of their way to leave a negative review on Yelp to their competitors, I think that is very unethical and not right. I think that if you're confident enough in your business, that you don't need to be going out of your way to write negative reviews on other businesses. And it's also wrong because outside of work, these people have lives and they have bills to pay for, and if they're not doing anything negatively wrong and you're just commenting out of spite, then I don't think that's right. So for the last question of where we have to relate something that's been going on in the past 30 days to one of these sections of the textbook is what's going on in the Olympics and what happened to Sha'carri Richardson. So Sha'carri Richardson was a track runner, or she still is a track runner, but she was taken out of the Olympics this summer in Tokyo. I think that there was a lot of scrutiny going into it, saying that because she was a black female runner and that she was taken out because of that, but there was a lot more that went into it. She got caught because she had marijuana in her system, and the Olympics does not allow any drug use or anything while being in the Olympics. So I think that the Olympics did the right thing by taking her out of the Olympics. A lot of people disagree with that, but I think that if you're using a drug to either enhance your way of performing athletically or like calming it down, I don't think that that's right. I think that is a form of cheating if you're using a drug to do so. And I kind of relate that with what happened with the Patriots and the NFL and how that was cheating in sports. And the Olympics is a huge company, and a lot of people all over the world watch it. So they didn't want their business to look inauthentic or unethical in any way. So that's basically it. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.